What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods, and we are literally burning the midnight farts. I mean oil. But oil and farts did happen and whatever. They're both combustible. And as we are combustible, with this combustible card, that was UFC Vegas 24. And I'm Gordon Woods, if you guys don't know, and I am joined by former U of MMA champion. He is the one and only Pius Eno Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. There we go.
Thank you, Ada Day Woods, all day, every day. 8 podcasts a day. The hardest working man in podcasting history. That's what's up. Let's get it, man. Let's jump into this, man. This one was quite it was quite I got like 80% of them wrong. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like, what's going on? You know, what was going on? Yep. What did you think?
I guess we'll get to it, but like you can powerbomb a motherfucker and like lose the fucking match, apparently. I don't the fuck was like I almost want to feel like, Joe Rogan used to talk about like, back in the days where UFC couldn't actually pay him, right? And he was on news radio and Fear Factor. They couldn't actually pay him. So they're like, oh, we'll give free tickets to your friends, right? So like Ari Shaffir and then another comedic friend of Joe's would go and hide like psilocybin mushrooms all for us and whatever, and then post it on Twitter and be like, ha ha, and everybody would be lit. I think the judges might have found some of those remnant mushrooms of 10 years ago, because what the fuck? They were on another level judging this shit. I want to see the rubric, but that probably is laced in cocaine in a Grateful Dead CD. Like, I don't know what the fuck, man. And deadheads don't do cocaine. That's a generalization. They do weed and shrooms and acid. Understand?
And to make things even worse, Ben Askren got knocked into Saturn.
I ain't mad at it.
He hopped right back up, though. He hopped right back up, right? What do you think? What do you think about that one?
You know what? I don't care. I'm not mad at it. Get the fucking money. I don't give a fuck. I've met Ben Askren. Askren has been nothing but nice and so kind to me when he didn't have to be. And my dad always said, hey, when somebody is genuinely kind to you, because you can fake being nice, right? Fake smiles and blah, 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 whatever. But kind. Ben Askren is a kind human being. He might talk a lot of shit, whatever. You meet him in person, you can't help but love the guy. I'm just saying, right? So fucking get that money, Funky Ben. Whatever the fuck. Do whatever. I don't care. He was the second fucking highest paid person of the fucking weekend, right? Yeah. So we had LFA, we had Bellator, we had UFC, and we had the fucking Triller card. And the Triller card, the headliners made more than the headliners in any of the previously mentioned promotions that are supposedly legit.
That was $1 million knockout. $1 million knockout. He got $1 million to get knocked out. And he went home smiling with his wife. Him and his wife were smiling. Hey, I can't be mad at him. I can't be mad at him and his wife. You know what I mean? They're taking it to the bank.
Yo, and the fucking promos that he did and shit, running through the snow and fucking Funky Ben. I'm not talking shit about you, dude. You are legit. Anybody that says he's a fucking paper champion, whatever you don't go to fucking like Bellator. Bellator is a big fucking deal, right? You don't go to one. Look what happened to fucking Mighty Mouse. Got knocked out at one, right?
Yeah.
That motherfucker won at one, you know? So
Hey, let's put it this way, man. Here's the truth. The only way that Paul Kidd would have fought Ben Askren was only in the ring, the way it happened. No other way. Because he knows his death will be imminent if he faced Ben Askren in another style of fighting. That was the only way he could win, was boxing. And he's a smart kid. That's one thing you have to give to those two kids, Paul and Paul, Logan and yeah, Logan. That's how much we give a damn.
You see, it's not the adventures of Pete and Pete, it's the adventures of Paul and Paul. We'll take you through the suicide forest of Japan, and we'll buy fucking Fight TV so you can't watch any of your fucking MMA shit.
Yeah. Logan and Paul. Those kids are very smart kids. I'll give them that. They understand
it's still the same person.
Logan and Paul? No. Oh yeah. Jake. Logan and Jake.
Shit. Oh fuck. Yeah. All of them and none of them, whatever. Yeah. Jake, John, Mary, Peter, Paul, and Mary. I don't fucking whatever. They weigh way the fuck more than us, so let's see. You're figuring it out. You figured it out.
One thing that you can say about those two dudes is they understand that YouTube algorithm. They know how to bring the views. They understand that game and they play it very well. And that's what you see. Kids are excellent promotion artists. You know what I mean? They steal promotion left and right. They say something ridiculous and they get you, the famous guy, to talk about them, which gives them more boost. It's like they say, all publicity is good publicity, bad or good. It's all good publicity. So as long as your name is getting out there, like their name is getting out there, we're talking about them. How many days later? So something is working. Shout out to those kids.
Yeah. Shout out to the Jake and Logan Paul. If you've got, something that you want to commentate, like we'll commentate for you. I mean, might be better than fucking. It's probably not going to get as many views as fucking Oscar De La Hoya, but we can fucking probably like. I'm not the best commentator in the world, but fuck, I'm better than De La Hoya.
We would knock that out of the park.
Hell yes.
Easy.
Hell yes.
Easy.
Like
too easy.
Oh, I'm just saying. Oh, Oscar, what are we doing? What are we doing, Oscar?
Hey, was it me or was Oscar loaded out of his mind?
Fuck yeah, dude. Even Mario Lopez,
loaded, right?
They had to get fucking AC Slater and like, yo, we still need the Latino fucking watch list and shit like that. Like anyone, Chavez Senior, whoever, the fucking the elote guy, like off the fucking street. Like we just need somebody to get De La Hoya's ass out of here. It was great. But also, we had a great fucking card, man. UFC Vegas 24. Man, goodness. This one, it kind of started out on a somber note. If you're a fan of one El Toro, Anthony Burchak, who the little birdie told me he might be on the According to Woods podcast on Thursday, this coming Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So shout out to that. I'm a fan of Burchak. But Gravely, holy fuck, man. He didn't give a fuck about my feelings. He really did not give a fuck about my feelings. Like, he fucking dispatched Burchak. And Burchak took some fucking shots here, folks. Like, it was, whoo, man.
There was only pretty much one thing that played a key factor here. Tony Gravely has improved tremendously from the last time that I saw him to now. Something happened. There was a certain calm about him. There was a certain self-belief that was there, that was present. And that just took him over, and his hands just went to work. He was throwing excellent shots, excellent counters. He wrestled very, very well. I think that was the key right there. The key. The wrestling has improved. He's with ATT, and it's quite clear. He's getting a taste of that Dagestani style, that dominant, press you down, smash you down, totally annihilate, side control to full mount type business. He had that going, and then he was able to land that left hook. Eventually dropping Anthony Burchak and finishing off with hammer fist. He earned his win. Tony Gravely went there and he earned it. So shout out to Tony Gravely.
Yep, and that was our first finish of the night, which also earned a performance of the night for Tony Gravely. So there you go. Then we're going up. We had Austin beats Bush, which that's all like wrestling in Texas, right? Austin, Texas, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Dakota, which happens to be the child of Dustin, aka Goldust, and Marlena, right? Their daughter's Dakota, and George Bush was the president, and also from Texas. Even though the family's from Connecticut, he has a Texas accent. But but Austin beat Bush. That's all I got.
Indeed. Dakota Bush, he's got great potential. The only thing he needs now is to find a way to improve that cardio. That cardio was heavily taxed by the end of the first round. This was what I observed. Heavily taxed. He was able to recover, but his recovery was not up to par such that he could effectively execute his game plan. I saw what he was trying to do. He used that lead leg pretty well. He switched stance pretty well. He's a freestyler. He likes to move free and throw any shot that's available. But the movement required to execute that style effectively requires a certain amount of cardio, and he didn't have that. So once he improves that cardio, he will be one of those unstoppable type guys. He's got lots of potential. He just needs to figure out something to do about that cardio. But Austin Hubbard, he did what he had to do. You can see that he was clearly the veteran in the match, and he fought a perfect fight, which is why he won by unanimous decision. Lots of wrestling when he had the chance. His grappling were precise. He didn't overthrow anything. He was efficient with his striking, and he was a 100% mixed martial artist in this particular matchup. He looked really, really good. So shout out to Dustin Hubbard.
Yeah, or Austin too. I like it. Yeah. Right on. Now, speaking of shout outs, this ended up being the second consecutive performance of the night. GM3, Gerard Michart, basically dispatched Fabrinsky in quick fashion. It took all of 2 minutes of the very first round. He just snatched him up in a power guillotine choke and just put that mother trucker to sleep. Which, amazing, right? Because Polish power. Going back to Ivan Putski, we saw a second iteration of Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right? Polish power. Jan Blachowicz, right? Polish power, right? So they don't go down easy. But GM3 figured out a way to make that dude literally separate from his consciousness.
This one right here was a case of one man not respecting his opponent, not respecting what his opponent brings to the table. Gerard Mearchart is not so great. He's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not like wow, such that he wins like he won. His opponent didn't respect him, didn't respect his boundaries, which is why it was so easy for a veteran like Mearchart to execute the way he did. Bartosz Fabiński, he was reckless in his approach. He just rushed in. He didn't even test the waters by flinching, throwing a few jabs. He just went in. And when people come in like that, just hit them with the double leg. Very simple. Hit them with the double leg, pick them up, slam them, and then ground and pound them. Meerschaert was able to implement. As soon as he got a clinch, he knew right away that this guy was done because he could feel his skill level was far superior to his opponents, and he did that all through the first round. He made it out, and he finished him.
Yeah, that's it, man. So again, GM3 earning the second performance of the night, which is fun because we're only in the third fight, and two, the performance bonuses are basically dispatched here. So right on, $100,000, across the just in fight bonus of to the first three fights of the card. So bang 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 bang. That's a little Cactus Jack.
Cactus
Which,
Jack.
if you haven't, yes, bang bang. Just saying, and there's a new show I highly recommend on A&E where they basically track down different articles of professional wrestler's career in the WWE to hopefully get it into the archives and what have you. And the first episode was Mick Foley, and they were getting the very first Mankind, the vest and whatever, and just it was great. So go ahead and check that out. That debuted yesterday.
No
Hell yes.
A&E, huh?
A&E.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of A&E, TLC, Powerbomb Me, Jessica Penne, right? I mean, she coming off of a long layoff. We're talking, 4, almost 5 years? I mean, theoretically, her suspension in the UFC could be going to kindergarten right now. If a child was born at the start of her suspension and is now here, they're virtually Zooming, right? She basically had 5 years of her career pretty much fall by the wayside because of a foobar with USADA, and that couldn't get resolved until now. So making up for a lot.
What was the issue? What was the issue?
I
didn't know
even
there was an issue.
Yeah,
I didn't know she was dealing with USADA.
Yeah, that's what or it was either that or injury, because I remember them mentioning it on the podcast. I mean, not the podcast, the broadcast. I get those confused, but yeah, they mentioned it, but they didn't give a reference. They weren't saying if it was Loopy or whether it was Jessica. I don't know. I heard it, so I think it was that, but don't quote me on it. Is what I'm saying.
So this particular match was quite interesting. Lupita came out very, very well. I love her press, her movement, her boxing. She was on point. She didn't throw the most shots, but she threw the most effective shots. The most power shots were thrown by Lupita. Jessica Penne, though, very, very good. Snake-like, serpent-like jiu-jitsu that she brought, I like how there was this thing that she would do and pretty much climb to the back because she's so long, skinny legs. She just worms her way through, and before you know, she's on your back. It was quite beautiful, actually. She almost finished Lupita in the first round with the neck attack, but Lupita was able to hang on, and then this style continued, and just like we predicted, it was going to be a split decision. We predicted that, but just didn't think it would go this way. I think Lupita did enough to win, but I believe they gave it to Jessica Penne because she had more control time. She didn't really do damage. I didn't really see Jessica Penne do damage, but I did see her attack a lot in regards to trying to finish the match. So perhaps this is what the judges saw and gave it to her. Or it is what it is. Either way, she deserved it because she put in work. It was her. The win was worthy. It was worthy. Either one could have won this particular match, so it's okay. I'm not mad at the call going for Jessica Penne.
How the fuck are you gonna finish? Lupita literally powerbombed. Anybody that wants, and shout out to Rafa Esparza and WWE BJJ Week. Shout out to Jackie Gone, who actually posted it to her Instagram. Literally, there was a point where Lupita powerbombed, a la Kevin Nash and Bob Backlund and 8 seconds and won the title at Madison Square Garden. Like,
Mhm.
fucking powerbombed her.
She
And
just
not,
choked her. She
yeah,
threw out like
it was a fucking
she just
powerbomb
threw her.
against the cage.
That was beautiful. That was
God,
beautiful.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. If a power bomb can't get you at least a fucking split decision, what the fuck is sacred now, man? The hell? You're gonna tell me that Easter Bunny's not real? That a fucking leprechaun doesn't pop out in fucking Lucky Charms? That that cornflakes is actually good for you? Like, what are you? Don't ruin my fucking fun, folks. That's what I'm saying. Damn it, still real to me. Damn it. So congratulations to Jessica Bene. That is essentially the first blemish in Lupita's career.
Yeah.
Fallen to 5-1, but she'll be back. I was just amazed how tall and how, I guess, undersized. I guess in reference to Penne, that Lupita was, because I thought she was actually a bit big. I thought she would be bigger until fight night happened, and I was just like, oh wow, this is David and Goliath.
Yeah. but what from what I've seen of Lupita Godinez so far, it seems like this loss is going to be one of those moments that someone changes. You see this sometimes in fighters. They take a loss that deep down they know they could have won, right? So when they go back to practice, there's a certain sense of urgency now. That those last few minutes of a round, they want to up and increase the pace. You know what I mean? They want to work harder towards the end of every round. They have a different understanding. They want to steal the round. They will learn to steal the round, because that's what Jessica Bonet pretty much did. She tried to steal the round with last minute high output, high last minute output. And when you're doing this is what's recency bias, they call it, right? The most recent activity is what the judges remember most. So people still steal rounds this way. So Lupita is going to pick up on this and continue to improve as a professional. I see great things in the future just because her hands are so swift, and her wrestling is decent. Her wrestling is decent as well. So I like what I'm seeing from her. I would like more kicks, more kicks,
Yeah.
but she's looking real good either way.
Well, I think with as lanky as Penne was, that could have ended up, if she thrown more kicks, it could have ended up,
Calf kicks.
yeah, might have not been as great. But then all of the kind of anaconda like leg positions that Penne had on Lupita, maybe that doesn't happen if your leg looks like chopped liver. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna be a learning experience for her. I trust she'll be back new and improved by the time we see her again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of chopped liver and things that hopefully will be improved, well, we had a pretty knockdown, drag out fight between two guys who literally are built like brick shit houses, and Alexander King Kong Romanov and Juan Espino. And this was a fight that Espino, many would actually say that he was winning, right? He was kind of winning, and then he fucking kicks King. So El Guapo kicks King Kong in the nuts and gives King Kong the win. That's that's what we are. That's where we are.
Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. And this is the door that's been opened now. Now, slowly, opportunities to be like basketball, to be like soccer, starts to slip in there. You know what I mean? Is it illegal? No, it's not. Did the man kick me in the nuts? Yeah. Is it as bad as I'm making it seem? Only I know that, because I was the one that got kicked in the nuts, right? So now combat sports being tainted, so to speak, right? When we have the Aljamain Sterlings, going out the way he did, right? And there's many other people that do this, right? We've seen this before. Um, it's so disgusting, you know. Now, did this man get hurt really bad? I don't know. I don't know. Could he have continued? I don't know. But if he was losing that match and he knew it, and then that mistake happened, guess what? He knows he can win the match. He can get paid twice. If he just said, "Oh," so it is what it is. There was 4 more minutes left in that round, and he said, "No more. I'd rather take the win and the cash." So slowly, honor leaves the art. Honor is leaving. So this is what we're experiencing lately. As the competition evolves, it gets more difficult. People will look for exits like that. You know what I mean? It's like a get out of jail free card in Monopoly. That's what it's becoming. But I don't like it. Me personally, I don't like it. But it is what it is.
I mean, okay, I absolutely see what you're saying, but want to. I believe I'm a bit of an expert in getting kicked in the nuts, and I've been kicked in the nuts many a time, more than I can count. I've and as hard and as bad as I felt, it wasn't Juan Espino, a fucking heavyweight, kicking me in the nuts with the ferocity and power of such. So I hear what you're saying. The variable is Juan Espino. Yeah, I don't. Fuck that, man. You know, I'm good. I'm totally good on fucking Juan Espino kicking me in the nuts. So King Kong, you know, in my belief, you know, this is like it's pro wrestling 101. You know,
Yeah.
like if they have a rematch or whatever, it's like a fucking testicle in a jar. Fucking, you know, whatever. Fuck the title. It's like your testicle in a jar.
But then we have people like Anthony Smith, you know what I'm saying, who clearly got kneed in the head. Was like, you know what, give me 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? That's that warrior status that I'm talking about. That's that thing that can only be appreciated by a true martial artist, you know what I'm saying? It's like I understand, I get it. Yeah, he could have been champion, but some people still believe in honor. You know what I mean? Some people still believe in honor. And as long as his conscience is clear, then that's all that matters.
All right. I mean, I hear what you're saying. If he's fucking, you know, eating his meals through a straw in 5 years, where's his honor? You know. So I'm just saying, CTE is a real thing. And
Well,
Addis,
very.
yeah, shout out to Addis. What boys? What's
What's
going on?
up,
What's going on,
Athens?
Addis?
What's up, my man?
And hope you're having a great day. I hope you are
Oh
too,
yeah,
good sir.
yeah.
100%.
The day is just picking up, my brother. The day is just picking up, man. I'm with my
Business is
main man.
fixing.
That's right. I'm with my main man, Ed a Day Adam. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling good.
Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good, like Outcast says. But
Hell yeah.
one thing I didn't really feel great about is one, Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena winning again.
Mhm.
I'm not feeling it. Like, again, the boat has sailed with me. You know, he's just going to coast for the remainder of his UFC contract. He'll probably pick up wins. But again, can you think of the, an amazing Luis Pena match where you're like, oh my God? Like, aside from the fact that he has weird hair that's
Mhm.
kind of similarly reminiscent of, I mean, your name is Violent Bob Ross. And
Mhm.
you coast to victory. Like you know, that's not violent. Violent is
Mhm.
like you're fucking there to die. You're there for honor, right? You're there for honor. You're supposed to be sucking up your damn, you know, meatloaf in a straw in, in your early 50s and all that, right? Like but no, you want to, what is it? You want to be a Rhodes Scholar, right? Are you going for a Mensa? Are you a Mensa member? You don't want to get hit? Fuck, man. I guess. But you want another split decision in a
Yeah.
litany of other split decisions in his career. And I get it, right? Like in terms of, Floyd, right? Floyd
Mhm.
Mayweather, arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time, just because he was. If you're like, I don't know if he's the greatest of all time. Okay, cool.
Mm.
He's definitely the greatest defensive fighter of all time,
Yes,
right?
indeed,
That,
indeed.
that's in all of combat sports, every weight division, whatever, any era. That dude is the fucking best defensive, right? So I get it, right? And that is the same kind of principles that Tyron Woodley and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson had when they got fucking booed out of the arena at
Mm.
UFC 209 and shit like
Yep,
that. Yeah,
yep.
it was safe, great, but guess what? If nobody wants to see your fucking pay-per-views and you're gonna be like, oh, I need more money, well, guess what, Luis Pena? We ain't here for you, yo.
Hmm. Yeah, this Luis Pena, I see flashes of greatness in him. He's got the perfect length. Yeah, yeah. There's flashes of greatness. He just doesn't have the confidence to bring it to life. That light, that glow. See, he reminds me of Bruce Leroy when they sent him out to go find the master. He's still searching for the master, not realizing that the master is actually already within himself. He hasn't figured that out yet, and that annoys you. I think the fact that he hasn't figured out who he is yet kind of is annoying. Like, man, you should understand. Like, you're Bob Ross, violent Bob Ross. Like, with a nickname like that, what's going on? Things aren't matching up. You know what I mean? It's just not matching up. So I think when he finds himself and he crosses that line, I think we will see more. His technique is kind of crisp. His movement is beautiful, but I don't feel he commits. There isn't intent to take someone's head off. It's not there. There isn't an intent to finish someone. It's like I'm okay with a decision. I'll take a split decision. I'll take a unanimous decision. I'll take a decision. We I feel that when I watch him fight, and I don't think I should feel that. I think I should have to settle for a decision. You know what I mean? His performance should make me feel like, man, he tried so hard to finish, but we'll settle for it. This is okay. This split decision is okay. This unanimous decision is okay. You don't feel it. It doesn't. You don't feel like you feel more like he went for the decision. You know what I mean? In his approach. I understand I'm not the one in there, but at the same time, he had all the reach advantage. He had all the reach advantage. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps there's some things that he's not doing that can get him to that finish. Like throw front kicks to the face, no front kicks to the liver, no front kick to the diaphragm, nothing. You know what I mean? Some roundhouse kicks, but yeah, he's a wrestler. I don't care. I don't care if he's a wrestler. You still got to throw your kicks. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. Where are your feints? They were feints, but these feints didn't set up those wonderful kicks that I'm talking about. I think if he throws more kicks, he'll be able to get more knockouts. The kicks that he throws right now are very predictable. A roundhouse kick to the head. Great. Everyone does a roundhouse kick to the head. You know what I mean? And especially because you're a longer individual, it takes a while for you to unwrap the leg. Unless you use bad technique, which is keeping your leg straight. But when the kick is done right, it unwraps. You know what I mean? It snaps in such a manner. And because he's so long, you can see it coming, right? Right? Long people don't kick that fast. Like a Edson Barbosa. When he kicks, it's wham, right? But when Adesanya kicks, he's kicking, but it's not as fast as Barbosa just because of the length, right? So when he kicks, we see it coming, right? More than likely, I'm going to block it like the guy was blocking it. But the kick that's necessary for him to be more effective are those front kicks, the one that's going to jab the middle. right down the pipe, one to the face, one to the solar plex, aim for the liver. These kicks are necessary if he's going to be more successful. His kicking game must improve.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'm glad that you gave him his just due. I, I, yeah, I'm good. No more Bob Ross. Like, and there's a few people that make me feel like this. Like when Roman Reigns, right, fell of leukemia, right? I was like, he's a husband, he's a person, he's a father, right? I don't want that dude to die. And I want him in my wrestling? Fuck no. No. Right? I mean, and he's doing some of the best work. Now, I will admit he's doing some of the best work in his career and whatever, but you still have the fucking golden fucking jack off bracelet and the fucking SWAT fatigues, but your cousins who are brothers are supposedly in the penitentiary, and you're a fucking SWAT guy. That's also an island chief. Get the fuck out of here. And that's exactly that mental mismatch that's going on in my head, the misfiring. That's when I look at fucking Luis Pena, that's exactly that. Luis Pena is my Roman Reigns of the UFC.
I hope. Go ahead.
He ain't the only one. He ain't the only one.
That's true.
Especially on this card.
That's true.
But we'll get to that. If you came to Dance Mama, we get to that. We definitely get to that. Shit. But you were saying?
I was saying that this Luis Pena fella, he for his sake, if he wants to stick around, like the UFC saw something in him before when they gave him that contract. They saw potential. So he's becoming one of them dudes, man. Kind of like Kobe Covington before they gave him the ultimatum. You know what I mean? And then he lost his mind in Brazil. He's headed in that way, that direction, where they're gonna have to give him that talk, like you either do something exciting or you're gone. He's close to that now, even though he's winning, because Kobe Covington was winning and it was still ready to cut him until he figured something out. So this fella, he's gonna have to figure something else out because slim pickings, man. Lot of people trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot trying to get in than going out. So he can be easily replaced.
100%. Now, one thing that cannot be replaced is the amount you talked about, the honor, like the Warriors code earlier. This had to be something that you fucking had to love. I know I loved it, man. There's Tracy Cortez and Justine Kish. Man, if anybody that refutes, women's MMA or whatever the fuck, like I said, I love all MMA, but many, even after Ronda Rousey and Chris Cyborg and, like a litany of, Invicta, every, woman that has come out of Invicta, the Kayla Harrison over in PFL, right? Clarissa Shields. Women's sports, I mean, in terms of pay and everything, and even like people viewing it, it's not there yet. So I will always be an advocate. And also, I'm rewarded handsomely for my investment of time and effort and whatever, because nobody's going to coast to a fucking decision in women's MMA. They've come too damn far to go back and backtrack and shit like that.
Right.
And that's exactly what you saw in this fight. Obviously, Justine Kish, her hands have improved immensely with the inclusion of her training at Saxon Muay Thai, but also Tracy Cortez. Yeah, like these two complete mixed martial artists. This was a closer fight than, I mean, we were almost, even though we love Justine Kish, we almost gave her last rites, in our previous show. And she said, fuck that. And we're going to, like, she's probably gonna fucking punch us in the gut next time she sees us or ever not picking her. But fuck, man, this is a great fight. Nothing against the other fight of the night recipients, but just in terms of tit for tat, this had everything you need. They needed to have a fourth, performance of the night. This was it.
Yes. I believe we called this one right down on the dot. We knew it was going to be a split decision because our sentiments that day was Justine Kish is not no pushover. You're not just going to go over there and beat her ass. It's not going to happen. We knew this. We knew this. We knew that the young Cortez is going to have to initiate excellent wrestling to have an edge. Justine Kish, she's old school. When you look at the two fighters, you can tell that Cortez grew up, and she's one of those kids that we talk about all the time that grew up in an MMA gym, right? When they grew up in an MMA gym like that, from a young age, they pick up all the basic fundamentals, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, the boxing, the kickboxing, the Muay Thai, the whatever else they're going to add to it. You know what I mean? The Taekwondo. So you can tell the way she moves, she looks polished, right? From a young age, she was already polished, right? She's one of them diamonds that factory diamonds, right? You know what I mean? You don't have to go out there and dig with a shovel, right? An excavator pulled her out and polished her. You know what I mean? Like the machines polished her, like the assembly line, right? Henry Ford's assembly line. You know what I mean? From Justine Kish, but comes from the time where they build you like they build those new cars, those expensive cars by hand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it takes more time to grow in the route that she took, but this is all she knew. In her time, when she first started, there wasn't this opportunity to grow up in the, you know what I mean? So she had to learn this, then she learned that, and then that. And I mean, of course, now it's together, right? But because a young lady, Cortez, got all that at once, you know what I mean? She was able to catch up like almost immediately to Kish, right? Kish looked phenomenal. I want to give a special shout out to Justine Kish just for looking so shredded. I appreciate that so much in a fighter. You know what I mean? Like, you can see the work. Her cardio is phenomenal. I mean, like for her age, for her to have a gas tank like she has is a blessing, and for her to put the work in to look like she looks, I know what it takes to get like that. So shout out to her on the efforts of being excellent. Shout out to her on her attempts to learn more. Right? She's a phenomenal grappler, but then now, no, she's a phenomenal kickboxer. She started off in Muay Thai, I believe.
Right.
So she's good. She's good in that avenue, in that area. But then her wrestling is phenomenal as well. Her wrestling defense, all that stuff. She's putting it together, and she's putting it together real nice. Even in her loss, she was still. It could have gone her way too.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's the thing about the split decision. It could have gone her way too, because it was a tough fight for both ladies. You know, Cortez wasn't sure. Cortez actually thought she was going to lose.
Right.
You can tell 100%. From her body, you know what I mean? From a body, from
expression.
It was a tough match. So shout out to both ladies, man. Like you said, worthy of fight of the night. I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah, man. So shout out to women's MMA. Like, again, I'm so proud that I have the very first women's California Bantamweight Championship in my possession. I just, again, like what women's MMA is everything that men's MMA was 25 years ago. That need to to succeed and whatever. And again, when you get that, you're gonna get those the underdog story. Everything is the underdog story. And we had, Julia Budd in Bellator, win not too long ago. Maybe even this weekend. Yeah, it was this weekend, right? On Friday.
Yeah.
Her stepson fought and she cornered him, and they got ready and then fought and looked dominant. So shout out to just everyone who competes. It was such a love letter to MMA. So, I mean, God, yeah, man, I can't say enough. I can't say enough. One of the things that, in terms of speaking and not speaking or whatever, Abdul Razak Al Hassan definitely got a little bit more quiet in his kind of big dog status, because Jacob Malkoun was all over him. And, we're kind of critical of guys from, city kickboxing, aside from Izzy, it really hasn't translated. And that's Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski included, the reigning and defending featherweight champion of the UFC. He doesn't do it for me. But Malkoun, I don't know, man. There was something special to him. He put the hurt it on Abdul.
Once we saw this Malkoun fella, we could tell what was going to happen in the main event. You know what I mean? Since they're training partners, you know what I mean? I knew immediately. I mean, I knew that he was going to initiate his wrestling the last time we spoke. Was that a Friday or a Thursday? That was a Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. That was our call. We said that he was going to initiate. Well, we'll get to that. Malkoun. He started off. He touched him real quick. Angered Abdul Razak, and Razak just attacked without. I don't want to disrespect him. Without thinking, he just rushed in there continuously, and the man kept locking him down with a body lock. And eventually he was able to secure the takedown. Once he secured the takedown, he kept him there. And he did it again, then again, and again, and again, and again. And in the third round, he stood with him. Now he's exhausted, right? He stood with him, and he built his own highlight tape. I am not mad at that strategy, because coming from the loss that he had, he was perfect until then. So coming from that loss, that really, really quick knockout, he told himself he's going to come out first immediately against this power puncher. So he came out, he touched up Abdul Razak, and then angering Razak started attacking without thinking. He just rushed in there, and he got taken down, and he got dominated. It was a beautiful strategy, well executed. Shout out to Jacob. Jacob was highly effective. He looked really, really good. He sold his stock to the company. That was a very, 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 very good resume that he built for himself. They will remember him, and I foresee him high up in the next card, especially the one that they're planning for New Zealand. When they have that one again, he's gonna be high on the card. I feel that.
Yeah.
Just from this particular performance, because they had a lot of stock in Abdul Razak, and he went there and he mauled over him like Khabib does to people. That was beautiful. It was a beautiful performance, and I like the mix. I like the mix of boxing with the wrestling. It was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess also Kai Kara France is one that isn't Izzy that, I think Jacob Malkoun as well as Kai Kara France, those are them along with Izzy, those are kind of the stars, the crown jewel, if you will, of city kickboxing. They even outshine
the Hangman. The Hangman.
Oh, Hangman. Duh, I forgot. Hangman's there too.
Too.
Shout out to Hangman Hooker. I'm just saying. But speaking of shout outs, we are at the co-main event of the evening. The reason why I wanted to start this off with a shout out because obviously the original co-main event of oh my gosh, who is it? Who is it? It
Jeremy
was
Stevens
yes. Oh,
and
let's talk
Crocus
about
or
that.
something like that.
Jesus Christ, man. So this happened, and it was. Uh, I want to call it a freak accident, right? But uh, no, right? Because Jeremy Stevens at weigh-ins, pushed Drakkar close, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently suffered some sort of neck injury, and people were like, "Oh, bullshit," da da da. But like, he fucked up his spine. Like there was some trauma on his spine, and I was having a conversation with our good friend Jesse Velasquez, right? Like, oh fuck that, like, oh, he pushes real hard. Imagine what he would be if he hit him and whatever. And I was like, I know what you're saying, but there's a lot of variables, right? A person, not just because somebody's fit and whatever doesn't mean like genetics, right? You might have their family have a history of spinal issues that could have attributed to the severity of the injury, right? The fact that heck, he didn't know. He thought it was going to be a regular weigh-in, right? He didn't know that Stevens. There was nothing that was indicating that he would have to brace himself because in a fight, if you know a punch is happening or whatever, you can brace yourself and lessen the blow or try to bob and weave and everything like that. There
Mm-hmm.
was nowhere for him to
Mm-hmm.
go,
Mm-hmm.
that could have exacerbated the injury. We don't know, but for anybody to kind of like hum and haw over, Drakkar Klaus, you really must be
Mm-hmm.
a hardcore, MMA fan that like Drakkar Klaus and Jeremy Stevens is enough to shit on your, in your Cheerios and create a Twitter rant going off on fucking Stevens, like, or
Mm-hmm.
even calling Drakkar Close a bitch. I guarantee
Mm-hmm.
you, 90% of your motherfuckers, right, that are watching this or whatever, he could have a fucking cracked vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Drakkar Close will still whoop your ass. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, in one of those
Mm-hmm.
fucking medical halos and all that shit,
Mm-hmm.
still whoop your ass. ninety
True.
percent of the
True.
people talking shit. So
True.
don't, just
True.
don't.
Yeah.
You know.
But the thing, hey, the fact still remains. Mr. Kloss did himself in. He did himself in by talking. You know what I mean? Hey, look, man, don't poke the bear if you don't want the repercussions. You
Yeah.
poke the bear, now you got to deal with it. Hey, man, this dude poked the bear, angered the bear, woke the bear up from hibernation. Now the bear is hungry, really, really hungry. And then you want to turn your back on them? What do you
Mhm.
think he's going to do? He's going to pounce on you, man. You poke him until he woke up. Now he's awake. You want to turn your back and walk away? You think it's over? It's not over. First of all, he dropped the ball by not understanding his opponent. He clearly didn't understand his opponent. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Jeremy Stevens is one of them dudes that don't play that. You know what I mean? When you sit in front of some reporter and you say this and you say that, what you're gonna do to Jeremy Stevens? Don't you think them reporters is gonna get back to him? You didn't think that they were gonna go? What you thought they were? You thought it was between us? This ain't between us. It's about clicks and likes. You know what I mean? Whatever you said, Mr. Claw, you said something. You know what you said. It got back to Mr. Stevens, and they asked him, "Hey, this guy said he's gonna do this to you, right?" He heard it, and what did he say? Okay, we're gonna see. You know what I mean? Stuff like that stays in his mind, and it's driving him mad, right? It's like
Mhm.
Morpheus say. It's like Morpheus said. It is like a splinter in my mind, driving me crazy. So, what do you think you did, man? You planted a seed of destruction, and when he saw you and you got dead in his face, what do you, what do you expect? What did you expect? I mean, if he would have stood in a fighting stance and kept that distance, right? Stevens wouldn't have been able to do that to him.
Right.
But he put his own hands behind his own back and he got in his face. First of all, you are not aware of your surroundings. You are not aware of your opponent. You clearly didn't study your opponent, which is why you got injured. Did he get injured? Oh yes, of course he got injured. Whiplash, like you said. And a concussion, actually. That was a concussion.
Yeah, it was a concussion.
It was a very, very strong push. Very, very strong. It was strong and it was painful. You can tell by Klaus's reaction. What the fuck? Hey, what the fuck? You know what I mean? He was hurt. He was hurt by it. Immediately he was hurt. He tried to, but you could tell that he was Don Dada. I knew that something was up with him. The way, either it was fear. The only thing that came to my mind before I found out that he was actually injured, I thought, oh, he's scared because his speech, what the fuck, right? Like the way it came out, it was weak and feminine. You know what I mean? Like a child that's just been bullied. That's what it sounded like. You know, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know, and it turned out that he was in pain, right? And he wakes up and he's throwing up. You know, yeah. I would advise him not to fight either, not in that state. First of all, I wouldn't want to fight Jeremy Stevens in the first place. Not to talk about after I've talked a bunch of smack. Now I'm injured and fighting him? Nah. Good idea to call off because he could have probably lost his life.
No, 100%. Oof, you had like weak and feminine. Fuck the guy that got a concussion. Holy shit. And childlike. Weak, feminine, and childlike. The dude who got a concussion. Holy shit. Oh, that's rich. That's a great.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Great. Oh man. Now, yes. So now we have the updated co-main event in where we had former UFC heavyweight champion Andrei Arlovsky get a amazing unanimous decision over Chase Sherman. And much like we did, I mean, we pretty much read Arlovsky's last rites on our Friday show, on the preview show. I want to believe that the Pitbull was watching this damn thing and is like, you know what? I'm going to fucking make them shove it right up their asses. I guess, I mean, has he fucking looked better? I mean, he got KO'd, right? His last outing, you know.
He got choked out.
Oh, choked out. That's it. I know he got finished. Yeah, by Aspinall. But, like, he was just like, fuck all the bullshit, man. I'm a fucking, fuck this youngin' up, and I'm coming out and fucking out of wherever the fuck he is in terms of his rankings, and maybe one more crack at that fucking title that he held all those years ago. Now, obviously, he held a prettier version of the title, you know, a more acceptable version. Now he has to settle for this piece of shit, golden paper plate, Power Ranger motherfucking thing. Hubcap. It's fucking hubcap.
A $300,000 hubcap. That's crazy.
A hubcap is a hubcap. A fucking, what is it? The sewer lid, right? It keeps steam from whatever. You fucking still, if you don't have that thing, you feel get into the filth, right? I mean, a pig of a different name. Same deal. It's a fucking hubcap. It's a fucking hubcap. And what kind of mark are you that you pay fucking $375? That's a fucking house for that piece of shit. Like, you go to a jeweler, get a paper plate, and you give the paper plate to the jeweler, and you fucking dip that some bitch in gold, put a leather, write UFC, and you're done. That's what you're doing. It's a piece of shit title, is what I'm saying. But yeah, maybe he wants another crack at it.
Hey. The man has no children. I think he has a girlfriend. He's absolutely focused on his career. he made the ultimate sacrifice. I'm not mad at Andrei Arlovski at all. This is what he chooses to do with his life, and to be great at mixed martial art, to be great, no kids, no distractions, none. To be truly great at it, at the highest level, no kids, no distraction. Maybe a girlfriend, maybe. But
Yeah.
outside of that, no kids. Those, I mean, I mean, with the exception of John Jones, of course, that dude's an animal, right? John Jones, he became champion before he had kids, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He was a youngin.
Yeah, right. Um, but he's still champion. John Jones is the perfect fighter. Not only is he an outlier, he is a complete outlier. Not many, not many out there that are complete outliers. Mighty Mouse, complete outlier. Um, not many, not many can hit free flow. Those two that I just mentioned, they hit free flow anytime they want, in and out, whenever they feel like it. Yeah, is there a chance that they could get knocked out like Mighty Mouse did? Yeah, it's a new system. He has to ingrain himself into this new system. Mighty Mouse doesn't get put on the ground. He's when was the last time he's been in that situation in a real fight? Can't even remember. He's never been knocked out. So for him to take that knee, he spent so many years in the UFC in which that particular position would not have been a knee to the head. So muscle memory and the fact that he was already stunned, muscle memory kicked in, and he put himself in a bad situation. Yeah, I mean, he said it right after the match. He said it. He's like, "Hey, he caught me." You know what I mean? Someone like Mighty Mouse is gonna go back, clean that up, come back, get a title shot again against the same fella and beat him. He outworked everyone. That's his key. He outworks everyone, and that makes him great. But coming back, Andrei Arlovski, so much experience, like 50 fights or something like that, something ridiculous. He goes in there. He goes in there against the young man. The young man had youth. Chase Sherman had youth, speed. He had all the advantages,
Pretty
but
much.
except one, Arlovski. Arlovski had experience, and that's all you need. Like in the heavyweight division, you can go deep into your 40s, 40s, close to 50 in mixed martial arts at heavyweight. Why? Because only one shot can put you out. So even the heavy guy or the older guy has the same opportunity as the younger guy. We all have the same size brain, but then those guys have different size power. You know what I mean? They have like 3 and 4 times our power, but yet it's the same size brain. So once they touch, the lights go out. So which is why he's still there. Longevity, strictly because of his weight class. Not much competition in that weight class. Not like the 155, the 170, the 145, the 135, the 125. These are deep divisions. Like if you look at the 205 and the 185, not much competition. Not much competition. Not many people in there. You know what I mean? And there's a reason. Those guys are big people. Most people are of average size between the 170 welterweight division and bantamweight division. Most people are there. That's why. And if you go down to the 125, not much competition down there either because not many people are that size. So the most competition are between lightweight and welterweight. That's where you see a rich, not lightweight, bantamweight. Rich, lots and lots of competition, and this is why they are the most exciting weight class.
Yeah, no facts, so facts, man. So, this is I'm happy for Arlovski. Does that mean he'll be fucking champion next week? Probably not.
Man,
It's fucking. That's a murder's row in any combat sport. So you can fucking point karate, fucking judo, all of it. MMA, boxing, round them up, heavyweights. That's the again. We had fucking Espino literally fucking allegedly serrate the balls of King Kong Polish guy.
Yeah.
So fuck man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And by the way, Orlovsky is a Hall of Famer. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, I don't see how you can. You can't have a Hall of Fame without this dude. He put Belarus on the map in terms of MMA. So and mouth guards that look like teeth.
Yeah,
that was another thing.
That's
too,
right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah,
Indeed.
man. And yes, indeed, we are at the main event of the evening. We have former UFC interim champion, one Kelvin Gastelum, against one Robert Reaper Whitaker. And this was all Whitaker all day. Loved Kelvin Gastelum, but his fight style, his fight stance is, for his size, it literally looks like a flat-footed giant, but shrunk down to size. It just it doesn't work. It really doesn't work, and I have even a little bit of like not so much dread, but like I'm not looking forward to a Whitaker and Adesanya rematch, even if it was the other way around and had Adesanya and Gastelum rematch. We've seen that happen. To think that they've improved to such a degree, and again, I'm not the biggest Israel Adesanya fan at all. Far from it. But damn, there ain't nobody at this time in the current rankings of the UFC that has Izzy's number. I can call it like I see. I mean, I call it like I see it. I try to call it like it is.
I know one.
There's who?
He is not in the UFC. They have faced each other in the past. Alex Pantoja or something like that. The Brazilian cat that knocked him out in the past. Pantoja or something like that. He knocked him out in the past. Yeah, he knocked him out. That guy is a lethal weapon. That guy should be watched very closely in public. I believe he can kill a man with his bare hands, with one punch. He is that left hook that he knocks people out with. He is just too precise. He is perfect in regards to striking. Perfect. He is perfection. I watch him closely every single day. I watch him because he trains every day and he posts every day. I don't follow many fighters, but I follow this fella. I follow him. He is currently in K. Glory.
It's Alex Piera. It's Alex Piera.
That guy, Piera. That guy. He is currently in Glory. He's got the belt and he wants to be undisputed. So he wants Rico Verhoeven. He's calling for that guy. This is how sick this guy is. He's calling for Rico the King Verhoeven. He wants that guy. You know what I mean? Now that guy and Israel in the UFC, in Brazil, or New Zealand, oh my goodness, that's 50,000 seats in New Zealand. They will pay for that.
Yeah.
They will pay for that. And it's not going to be a ground fight either. It's going to be a beautiful striking war. Izzy has gotten better, right? This guy is always good. Izzy is going to have to become a complete fighter to beat this guy. That's what I believe. The power in his left hand both hands. The power in both hands. He just needs to turn. There's effortless in his swings. He doesn't overdo. He doesn't load up. He just snaps. Everything snaps. And he's dropping folks. Devastator. Yeah. Scary individual. I would like him to come to the UFC. Yeah. I would love for him to come to the UFC. And I believe he will smash anybody in his weight class. I truly believe it.
Yeah, yeah. But until then, I again currently signed to the UFC. Izzy's got everyone's number, you know. So even with the, you know,
What
regardless,
about Vittori? What about Vittori? You think he's got Vittori? He went split decision with Vittori the last time.
yeah, the last time Izzy's
Mm-hmm.
improved. Again,
True.
like, please don't make it sound like I'm an advocate for Izzy because I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
I know you hate
But
that dude.
I don't hate him, but hate is a,
His
a
shenanigans. His
strong word. But I
shenanigans.
really really don't like him.
Yes,
In the
yes,
words of the plain white tees, right?
yes,
So
yes.
you know, it's just whatever. But
Not your
uh,
cup of tea.
no, not my cup of tea, not my cup
Mhm.
of beer, not my mug of whatever, not my I don't know,
not not my pint of Guinness.
not my anything like not my X-Lax and my diarrhea. Fucking you know, Jesus Christ. But I got to give the devil his due, and
Mhm.
Izzy's a fucking superhero, man. Like
Yes,
that
yes,
dude is on another level. I
yes,
can
yes.
admit, I don't like seeing I just when the cage door fucking closes. That's the only time I fucking and over the last two fights that he's had, right,
Mhm.
including the loss to Blahovic.
Mhm.
I am not mad at it. The fact that he went up in weight and that's a pretty fucking tall order to do and shit
Mhm.
like that. And
Mhm.
I was pulling for him. I wanted to him to win the fucking three
Mhm.
heaviest titles,
Mhm.
hold them
Mhm.
simultaneously, and do whatever the fuck, like whatever. It didn't happen, but I believe in Izzy. I do believe
Yeah.
in Izzy.
He
So
still got time. He's got time. He can still do
uh,
it.
he's a champ. Like
Mhm.
to be the man, you got to beat the man, and Izzy's
That's
the
right.
man.
Mhm.
So yeah, but with that all being said, this fight with Whitaker dominated, right?
Mhm.
And I know
Mhm.
with Gastelum, he posted on Instagram, and I quote, I'm reading this, so I don't paraphrase it, but he was basically saying that getting on onslaught of amazing messages, and I'm glad people PPL, right, because it's Twitter,
Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
PPL enjoyed the fight. Thank you for sending all of your even the slightest of positive gestures and messages. I still believe I can get the job done and be one of the best. I wouldn't
Mhm.
say that's just to say it. I believe it with all my heart. I'm learning so much from my opponents, and I will make the necessary adjustments for the
Mhm.
next battle. On to the next one. Hashtag on a mission for gold. No,
Hey man, no disrespect. No disrespect. No disrespect. There's only one thing Kelvin needs to do, and it's stop eating. Hey, look, he's a very good fighter at 185, but at 170, he's a perfect fighter.
mm-hmm.
He's got to lose that spare tire if he is to achieve his goal in mixed martial arts. At least start there and then go up, right? He is too round for these fellas. They're too long. They not Gastelum, Whitaker.
Whitaker.
Whitaker is one of the shorter guys in that division, and he towered over him when they
Yeah,
were fighting. He looked bigger, when he
yeah,
when he when he took him down, he blanketed him. Like Kevin Gastelum looked so small, when he was on his back, he looked really small. He couldn't do anything. They're too powerful. They're more powerful than you. They're longer than you. He's just at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? He's at a disadvantage. He's like a brother in this country. You know what I mean? You don't get to start on the line. You know what I'm saying?
here's
You
what
don't
you
get to start on the
I
line.
hear
You
what you're
start behind
saying.
the line.
It's every country.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Every
hey,
country.
hey, hey, like, but the thing is, he's doing it to himself by remaining in his division, right? Look, man, he's got potential to hold the title, but it's got to be at welterweight. Look,
Yeah.
the top five in the middleweight, the top five, he will never be able to beat. and his teammate's one of them. He probably don't even want to fight that guy. And
Yeah,
then now there's
Toy.
4. You know what I mean? Now there's 4. Can't beat them. Why? They're too long. They're too long, right? They watched you fight Adesanya. They've seen the strategy that you used to get underneath. Even you know what I'm saying? He also has learned. If they fight again, he will finish Kevin Gastelum at a faster time.
I agree.
You know what I mean? He will finish him at a faster time. And every one of those top fivers can do the same thing. They can all wrestle.
Yep.
They all have longer reach than you. You know what I mean? Hands and feet. And they're stronger than you.
Yeah.
You are at a disadvantage. You will check a 6 down. 6 down, he has the opportunity to beat any one of those dudes 6 down. Yeah. 5 up, forget it.
It's a problem.
Forget it. It's
Real
a problem.
Fucking problem.
It's too much. It's too much. Look, Usman is a big dude. Not to talk about these middleweights. You know what I'm saying? Usman is a big dude. Not to talk about these middleweights. And he chooses to fight these middleweights because he wants to eat. You know what I mean? Look, he needs to make the ultimate sacrifice. If he's able to make this sacrifice, he will get his wish. But he's got to sacrifice. Take it from Voodoo. Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, which is my favorite Elton John song, as well as my favorite Creed song. Wow.
My sacrifice.
When you are with me, I'm free. I woke my dog up. He's like, what the fuck happened? Yeah. That note was sour as a packet of airheads burnt the roof of your mouth in 1999. Hell yes. Shit, man. But yeah, I mean, overall, a good card. Some questionable fucking calls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially in the Juan Espino King Kong Romanov deal, as well as, again, I can't get over the fact that Lupe Godinez, before our very eyes, powerbombed the shit out of Jessica Penne and lost.
Yep.
Well, okay, I guess.
Wisdom. She lost the wisdom. It wasn't a better skill set. It was wisdom. Knowing how to win the match. Steal the match or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, then you, with that same theory, with that same move, you explain Kevin Nash, aka Diesel's 8-second win over Bob Backlund in 1996 or 5, whatever year before they went to WCW, right?
Yeah.
Same sequence. Bob Backlund had infinitely more, everything than Kevin Nash, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking Minnesota, wrestler even before fucking Brock Lesnar came on the scene, right? Like literally 40 fucking years before Lesnar came on the scene, right? It made all of 2 shits going up against Kevin Nash, kicked him in the gut, fucking powered it, bomb his ass to hell, and whatever. Lupe Godinez fucking did the fucking same shit. Fucking kicked it in the gut, fucking power bombed her to hell, and still got a decision. I don't know what the fuck, man.
Hey, he should have double legged those little skinny legs of Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
he would have done that.
Toothpick legs. Chopsticks, yo. It's fucking chopsticks.
That dude, man, he gets in the ring and he blows out his knees. You know what I mean?
Yep,
he's got terrible knees.
Just walking after midnight. Just saying. Motherfucker, walk to the Dudley Boys and just said fuck or whatever.
Hey man, I'm very excited to have Joey Lee back. I miss her so much.
She's great. She's great. And you get to see a glimmer of it right now because they've released the UFC. God, where are they? I can't remember, but the next UFC pay-per-view with all the 3 title fights and all that shit like that. But you get to see her in the countdown videos. And I mean, tomorrow, well, actually, it's already Tuesday, right? Where we are.
Yeah.
So you actually see probably the first edition or first episode of UFC Embedded for these fights. So you're going to get your wish, and you're going to get a lot of Zhang Wei Li as before she defends her title in the UFC Octagon this coming Saturday. So you'll get your wish. And
Yeah,
again,
I see
shit,
her
man.
every day anyway. I
Uh-oh.
see her on Instagram. I see her on
Okay.
Instagram every single day because she's always training. That's what I like most about her. She's always training, man. She's always training. There's no kids. You know what I mean? No kids,
Yeah,
no distraction. She's absolutely focused. You know, she made the ultimate sacrifice. You know,
absolutely.
so
Absolutely. So yeah, overall, cool card. I like the fact that I didn't have to go through other means to fucking do it because this comes with my 5.99 ESPN Plus deal. So
nice,
what I paid
nice.
5.99 for this site, absolutely twice on Sundays.
That's
Amazing,
right.
amazing fight that Justin Kish and fucking
It was
uh
amazing.
yeah. So good fights, some finishes, like everywhere. It ran the gamut of what you wanted in your combat switch card. You want
Yep,
finish, you want
yep,
split decision, you want unanimous decision. You
yep,
want.
yep.
I don't think anybody got KO'd. Yeah, nobody got KO'd.
Wait a minute. No, nobody got KO'd. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anthony Burchak got KO'd the very
Oh
first fight.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was it though. That was it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
again, if you wanted the full menagerie, the
Mm.
fucking cornucopia of MMA, you got it in this particular card. So again, right on. 10 points for
Yeah.
everybody that fought. Now, obviously, 10 points for you guys for joining us here at Voodoo in the Woods. But before we go, Voodoo, where can they
Yeah.
find you on social media?
Oh man, social media. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook page. You can find me on Twitter, Voodoo Maximus, all
Yes,
day.
absolutely. And I'm recording the woods on all of the media, socials, and everything. On the book face, on the tube of you, the gram of instant gratification, and the Twitter machine, right?
Yeah.
But while you're in that following mood, you should definitely go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Go ahead and drop a sub, a comment, and all that stuff because engagement is cool. It's a weird time right now, and we want to be engaged with you,
That's
not to
right.
you. Not that there's
That's
anything
right.
wrong with that, but we're married, like Paul, like John Lennon back in the day when
Yeah.
they did Ed Sullivan. But yeah, man. So until next time, we will see you later with more voodoo in the woods. Oh, I
All
didn't
right.
end the broadcast. Hi.